Hi, babe. What are you doing?
Hi. Nothing. Just talking to you.
Oh. Well, what's the chess for? Are you playing chess?
Oh, you gonna play a game with me?
I don't like losing.
Come on, you can play. It's ready. Ready for you to play. It's the only game I will play.
Wow.
Hey, by the way, my lights like really dim.
On the Rover?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. They're
Okay.
not working very well.
Well, I guess I better go check that first thing in the morning.
Okay.
We'll get that fixed for you, baby.
All right, you're the best.
All right. So now, what about this chess game? Let's see what we can do.
Well, you can go first.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's a happy Saturday morning here, about 6 a.m. I'm definitely not awake yet, but I wanted to get out here before the sun got hot, and it's been raining. Right now we've got some calm weather. Gina's been telling me that the LR3, the headlights are a little dim. Checked it out, found out one was burned out. So in researching what bulbs should we go with this time, I did a little research and found out that Philips makes this light bulb called the Racing Vision GT200, and it says up to 200% more brightness. Wow. We're going to try it. So I bought these in a pair. We're going to replace both headlights. I'm going to show you how that's done. It's really simple on the LR3, and well, let's get into it. Okay, first of all, let me show you. I've got the hood up. Here's the grille. Again, this is a 2007 Land Rover LR3 / Discovery 3, depending on what part of the world you're in. This grille comes off to access the headlights. There are actually 5 tabs. There's one here. Well, there's 4. Mine's missing one. 6, I mean, mine's missing. Well, mine's missing 2. Anyway, there's tabs here, 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 and here, and then here and here. So let me show you how those come off. On the top, just going to push these down here. It slides out. Go along here to the next one. See, that one just broke. Yeah, they get old and they get brittle. Okay, I was a little too rough with that. Dang it. All right, and then we're going to go down. Oh, let's see here. Try and be really gentle with these if you can. Okay, so right down here, if you can see in there. Right here. So to better understand this bottom clip, mine are really sticky. This came off easy last time. This clip is actually attached to the top piece of the grill, and so you're pulling it upwards, and it's a little tricky because these get so brittle when they're old from the heat and the age that they break really easy. And so this one's going to take a little finesse and a little jiggling of the grill itself to get it off. So I'm going to back up the camera and let you see what I'm doing, and hopefully we'll get this off without breaking it. So I'm putting a little weight here with my arm and grabbing the top of the grill here And I'm reaching under and I'm trying to gently pull this tab up while jiggling the grill up and down. It's not coming off with finesse, so we're gonna have to try a little more force. So that one stayed intact. It didn't break. Good news. So I've got all the tabs off. Well, I thought I did. This one's still hanging on for whatever reason. There we go. Okay, that just comes off. Make sure you set it somewhere where you're not going to break it or scratch it. All right, now let's come in close on the headlight. We're replacing both of them. All right, next we have a sliding lock mechanism here, and it's a one-piece mechanism from the top down here to the bottom. You see that? Okay, I'm gonna brighten things up a little bit just so you can see. So basically, again, this will be stiff too. There's a tab on the top, and if you put your finger underneath and push on both ends, there we go. So what you're doing is you're lining up. There's a hole in the metal bar on the bottom and the top that line up with these two tabs right here. Can you see those? In fact, let me bring you a little closer. All right. I've got this tab lined up with this hole, and we're doing the same thing down on the bottom. Okay, so we just pulled it up. Show you that again. Okay, we're just, and it's stiff, and then you just gotta line it up with the hole. And we're going to come around on the corner here. You see that? There's one more right here. Now that one's a little harder to see. In fact, let me grab a light. I don't know if this will help or not, but okay. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. I can just barely see it. If you look down there with the light, there's a hole in that tab. And just like on the other ones. And so we're lining that up. So let me see, we'll see how stiff this one is. You may have to get something to pull this lever up if it's really stiff. But let's do that one next. All right, let's see how stiff it is first. It is hard to get your fingers in there, so yeah, if you can. See, that's not really pulling straight up and down, so ideally, you want to be careful what you're prying on. You don't want to scratch up your car. So let me grab something to pull that up with. Okay, I got a sharp tail in case we need to do anything. I just grabbed this L-shaped pry tool, and we'll see how stiff this is. If you need to put some, oh, that one wasn't bad. Okay, we've got it up, but then we need to just fine tune where the positioning so it's lined up with the hole, which I really can't see. There we go. So you just have to play with it. Let's see if we're okay. That was it. So let me back you up here. Show you this part. So simply now all you're doing, hand here and hand here, and it just slides straight out. Now the LR3 is really simple. I brought you around the right side here, and you can see here's your connection, and there's a tab right here on the top, and you push it down and you should be able to hear it click. Push it down, just wiggle it, and it comes straight out. All right. Okay, I've just set the light on something that's stable, sturdy, so we're not scratching it up. Here's the front of the headlight, and I'm just turning it over and laying it down. And you see this gray disc here. We're basically need to lift up this tab. And I don't know if I'll need my screwdriver or not. Nope, I didn't even have to lift up the tab. So you just turn this. It has a rubber gasket on it. And that reveals our headlight. Let me get you a little closer so you can see what that looks like. All right, we got that. All right, now the next thing you do, you see these little, you got these two little spring clips in here. We're going to push those down and towards the center. Just like this. Okay. And when they come up, they are going to allow you to get your headlight out. And you have to do a little wiggling to get your cord around this edge. But that reveals your headlight. Okay. All right, so a couple things here. I've always been taught that you never touch these bulbs with your fingers because the oily substance on your fingers can degrade the life of the bulb. I've never actually researched that. I guess I should have to see if that's a wives' tale or not, but it's common sense, I think. So just grab the socket and push down the light and twist it again. This time you're still going counterclockwise, and give it a wiggle, and the light comes out. So I'm noticing immediately that this actually takes a different bulb than the auto parts store directory gave me. So we've got a very interesting circumstance here where I'm going to have to jump in and look at that, because this looks like an HID bulb, and that's not what I ordered. So I'm going to pause that for a minute and be right back with you. Okay, I just want to make an update on the headlights. So I pulled my headlights out. I'm just telling you this before you get into it. Turns out that my vehicle has an upgraded package with the Xenon HID bulbs, which are much different than the H7 Halogen bulbs that the auto parts store directory said this vehicle used. So before you order lights, pull out your bulb and look at it. So I've had to reorder lights, and we're going to come back to this when they get here. All right, these bulbs are D2S HID bulbs. The ones I got are 6000K. They're just a tad on the blue side. You can get, depending on where you get them, there are 3 or 4 different color levels, and the lower the Kelvin scale, the whiter the bulb will be. So like if you get a 3000, it'll be pretty white. 5000 is kind of right, perfect, I guess they say, but just depends on what tone you want, whether you want to go blue tint or white tint. All right, so like I say, I bought these in pairs, and the funny thing is, I mean, just like with any bulb, you can go crazy and pay a lot of money, or you can shop around and save some money. But these are called Supervision HID, and these are the xenon bulbs. And they come in these little cases to protect them. So there are 2 ways to do this, and one way is to use the levers and pull the whole thing out, but it depends on where your cord is. And my cord seems to be hung up on something right now, but it may just be easier to separate the connector from the bulb, and then you don't have to mess with that. And let me show you how that works. So for example, if I put this back into place and put my 2 wire retainers back in. There we go. Okay. Then all we have to do is turn this counterclockwise. It's about a, I don't know, 1/8 of a turn or so. It's not very much. And then this will wiggle right off your bulb. And that, with the HIDs, that might be the easiest. And then once you have that out of the way, you can lift your wire retainer all the way up, and the bulb just comes straight out. This bulb can only go in one way. There's a little recessed round notch. Now there's a square one and there's a round one, and they both line up with the keyway inside your housing, so you can't put it in wrong. So pull that one out, unscrew this from the fancy little container, and again, as a reminder, oh, and by the way, I did fact check the fact I shared about not touching the bulb with your bare fingers. It is in fact true. And so avoid touching the bulb. Okay. Boy, they got all kinds of keyways in this one. This must be designed to fit all kinds of setups. All right. So we got that in place. Going to put our wire tabs back in. We're going to line up our connector. We push it in place first, and then we lock it. Just like that. Okay, so if all goes as planned, it should work just fine once we put it back in the car. So I'm going to replace the other side. I don't think I need to show you that because you just saw it. And we'll slide these back in and test them out. All right, I don't need to tell you that installation is the reverse of taking it apart, but I'll show it to you anyway. We're just lining it up, and let me bring you around here. Should have started there, but set it on your bumper here. Don't walk away from it. You don't want this thing to fall off. And this connector goes up. Should be in the 0 degree position. And you just get it lined up. Push in. And you should hear the click. And that's it. And then all you're doing is you're just lining up your housing with those holes that we showed you before. And once you have it seated in there, and all we're doing is just locking those down in place. Make sure it's pushed all the way in before you start tapping. And that's it. It's in place. So you're going to do the other side, and then the grill just snaps in place, those levers. But I'm going to get the other one put in, and we'll start this baby up and see if they actually shine. Okay, time to put the grill back on, and we just get our tabs lined up. You got a guide pin right here. Bottom one snap in place. And then if you got any left on the top, if you haven't seen my video on how to use JB Weld to fix plastic parts in your underneath your hood, I'll put the link up in the top of the, just up in the top. Done. Let's go start it up. You guys tell me if both headlights come on. Just like that, we're done. Now, I'm pretty sure I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is for your low beams. I don't remember if I said that or if I assumed I said that, but this was a low beam headlight replacement. Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me today. It's been fun. I love working on my Land Rovers most of the time. So check back again. We'll have more videos. Thanks for watching. It's a pretty night out. Beautiful clouds in the sky. Very pretty night. Got a nice breeze. Oh man. This car's out. I think it has bright headlights. Wow. Yeah, those are bright. Wow. Oh my golly, that's the LR3. It's Jina. Holy cow. Well, I guess the headlights work well. Yeah. Wow. Hey, babe.
Hi.
Wow, your headlights are like bright.
Bright? Are they
Yeah.
working?
I'm working good.
You mean I have two?
Yeah, you have two of them.
Well, that's good.
How about that?
Oh.
So, could you see better when you're driving?
Oh, yes. Way better.
That's awesome. Okay, well, I guess that we can close the chapter on that project.
Well, thanks for fixing them. Hey.
All right, thanks, baby.